Hello interweb, this is Dannage, and in the UNITI project episode 4 we're going to do a whistle-stop tour of lost civilizations. How exciting. We will start with the Ligawan. The Ligawan are the earliest recorded civilization in known space, fossilized remains of which are on the Dovak homeworld. As Australopithecus was thinking of giving way to Homo habilis on Earth, meaning we were starting the move from ape to human, the Ligawan had society, clothing and relatively advanced tools, given that we were thinking of sharpening rocks at this point. Ligawan and Dovak share genetic similarities in internal organs, hands and feet. The unknown ancients somewhere in Avior space are perhaps the galaxy's greatest mystery. Whilst the Avior possess some dexterity in their powerful legs and beaks, there is absolutely no way that they could possibly be capable of building the complex electronics behind the AI that power their ships, towns and society. There is no trace, however, of a benefactor race, and if the AIs know, they certainly aren't talking about it. Neither are the birds. There once was a beautiful empress. Her scientists managed to develop ships capable of travelling at 100 times the speed of light, and with that she proclaimed the Star Reign of the K. Obviously, as soon as this was announced, the society fragmented into over 30 factions. The factions managed to get on roughly for a couple of hundred years, but 400 years after the declaration, the last of the K killed each other, leaving only a small number of drifting hulks which people try and avoid due to booby traps. The Minoc were very scientific, like the Dovak, but also a little more imaginative. They discovered underspace centuries before anybody else and used it to go travelling around the galaxy, or at least their region of space. Unfortunately, they were also quite innocent and didn't think about what would happen if you met a cruel alien species like, say, the UNITI, who promptly enslaved them, took all their stuff and wiped them out a few years later. The Ilitari roamed the depths of space and were possibly the most antisocial species in history. The Bifnaki really liked to travel and explore, but the Ilitari almost did this to get away from others of their kind. They would spend entire generations of lives roaming between stars and assuming somebody else was doing the baby making. As the civilization spread thinner, genetic diversity shrank, and the species simply wiped itself out through not having babies. The UNITI were a cold insectoid race which many historians mistake for being evil. In truth, they simply lived in a society that consumed too heavily. Races were subjugated because they had materials and were usually killed out through starvation rather than genocide. A huge flaw in their genetic makeup was the fact that one swarm queen was born every 50 years, and when the Dup overthrew them and killed the current one, no new eggs were hatched and the species died in half a decade. The Skylar Empire is unique in not having an identified homeworld anyone knows about. They roamed in fleets between several races and they went to war with all of them. It's largely assumed this was through fear of being conquered. The problem was that they weren't very good at it and they lost roughly 85% of engagements. At some point a vicious counterattack from one of their neighbours must have wiped out the last ones because they simply disappeared. The Liderain achieved space travel, but only within their own system. They loved the sun, recognizing it to be the source of light and heat and thus life. They colonized their system towards the sun, nobody ever stopping to think if the universe extended beyond the solar system. Tragically, the Liderain sun experienced a number of violent radiation bursts and irradiated all life in the system. The ghost worlds are a very scary place to visit, as all the structures still stand, but nobody lives there, especially as the radiation is still fairly high. So that's your whistle-stop tour of lost races. Now let's remind you about why we're here. We want you. We want your stuff. We want your talents. We want you to make films and comics and write books about our universe. And just like the people at Trek, we've got some rules. Let's talk about them. So, you are not limited to just making 30 minutes worth of footage. You can do as much stuff as you like, and I encourage you to make many, many, many things. Number 2, you can use the word Unity or the Unity project in your titles. Do note that there is a company out there which is registered with the word Unity, because even made-up words can't be original these days, and make sure that you don't upset any of their lawyers. Number 3, if we like your content enough, we will link to it, confirm that it is canon, and we could even host some stuff for you. Number 4, we only want original work. And we would also like you, if you are able, to submit that work and donate it to the community. Not necessarily just us, but the community for other creators to use. So, you built a spaceship or a uniform or whatever. Put that in and let others use it. When you're doing that, you need to make sure that you accompany that with some instructions on how you need to be credited. Likewise, under number 5, if you are using content, make sure that you check out how they want to be credited and make sure you credit them. Number 6, there is a rule on the CBS website that says you're not allowed to use Star Trek actors anymore. I'm perfectly happy for you to use them. Please do. Please bring them. Number 7, absolutely no circumstances must you sell merchandise, especially if you are using stuff that somebody else has donated to the site. If you've got a fantastic idea for a merchandise opportunity, just come to us and we will see what we can do about a central shop, and then we can make sure that the person that created that content also gets their fair share. Likewise, for number 8, you're not allowed to charge people to watch your content. This is a community project. People are donating stuff for free, at least I hope they will one day. Therefore, you shouldn't be making money out of it. You are, however, permitted to seek crowdfunding. If you are going to plan on doing merchandise or anything for stretch goals, come and see us and see what we can do. Number 10. We want to make stories that are compelling, tackle social issues, don't necessarily shove it down people's throats. Consider it a 15 rating. We don't want to get into, weird stuff people feel uncomfortable watching. Okay, so keep it clean. Number 11, I shouldn't have to write this down, but, well, we do. Don't do anything illegal, kids. Number 12, you mustn't register copyright or trademark for any of the content, especially the content that you're donating or that other people have donated. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. What shall we have in the next episode? I think that is something that you need to tell me in the comments. You also then need to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers very much.